I mean, come on, right? That was from the last few years of Night to Shine, just a compilation of what we've been doing here in Fremont. Tim Tebow usually puts out a national one, but I figured, hey, let's see what's going on here in our town, in our county here of Sandusky County. So everybody, thank you for coming today. We appreciate your patience with us today as we had forms and stuff to fill out. But it's going to be a great day, and it's going to be a great event, okay? And we couldn't do without you, so thanks for coming. My name's Tony Buxell. I have the privilege of serving as the pastor of New Hope Vineyard Church here, and we're so glad because this is not about New Hope Vineyard. It's really not even about Tim Tebow Foundation. It's about this amazing community of honored guests that we come together on this night. This year we have a record 160 honored guests signed up. So right on, this is exciting. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Now that also means that we have well over 300 volunteers. So we'll have a lot more coming on Wednesday night, sitting where you are too. And so again, we couldn't do without you. So thank you so much for giving of your time today, and especially on February 7th. You will truly be a blessing to all who come. And so we're just glad to be here. Let me ask you this. How many people have done Night to Shine with us before? Raise your hands real high. Awesome. How many people have done at least 3 with us? All right, got some veterans in the house. Great. This is our 7th Night to Shine that we've done. We started in 2019. During COVID, we actually did Night to Shine parades through our parking lot, so everybody got blessed and got honored and got some gifts to take with them too. And it's just been a tradition that we've continued. And again, we're a church of about 120 people. And so without the community and other churches and everybody coming together, we couldn't do this. So again, thank you so much for being a part of this, because it's much bigger than any one of us, okay? So we've got a lot to go through today. We're going to make it very quick. If you have questions, we'll pause in between sections and you can ask questions. If you will, just save your questions till those little pauses about every 5-10 minutes or so. And what we'll do is we'll go through what the night looks like. We're going to go where you're going to be, where you meet your people, and things like that. And so I know you're sitting there going, I'm not going to remember this in 2 weeks. It's like I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, right? Don't worry, we'll give you a handout that's going to have the outline of today's info and training meeting, okay? And so hopefully that will help you guys as you go out from here. If you ever need anything, give us a call at the church. Our phone number is on our website, which is newhopevineyard.org, newhopevineyard.org. And, or you can reach us at NTS, think Night to Shine, NTS@newhopevineyard.org. Okay? All right. Well, cool. Let's go ahead on what to expect from the night. Again, some of you have done this many times. It's going to sound like old hat. We have a few changes this year, so heads up. But if this is your first time, let's go through what the night is going to look like. You had some images in the video of what it looks like, but we're asking that volunteers arrive between 4 and 5, but no later than 5. If you have to come later than 5 because of a work commitment, please try to get there at 5, but talk to your area leader where you'll be serving. So if you're doing parking, talk to Greg, who's our parking leader. If you're doing hospitality, talk to them, okay? Just let us know. But please come dressed and ready to go, all righty? And when we say dress, we mean this is their night. Dress nice, right? Put the jeans away for the night. I actually have a suit jacket I'm gonna wear. It doesn't happen often, but please come dressed to have some fun. Please come dressed to be comfortable also. If you're working food service in that, or behind the scenes, set up, tear down, obviously you can dress a little more casual for those, but we want our guests to feel very special. And that's part of it, okay? We ask that when you get there that you park in the volunteer area, which is gonna be kind of out away from the building. If you are physically unable, that's fine. Just let our parking guys know that you need to park in a handicap spot or whatever. We'll direct you to one of those or park a little bit closer. There is an event at the Neely Center that night going on also beside ours. And so we're gonna direct you to where you need to go for our event and make sure they don't take all our good spots, right? But the big thing is we wanna make sure all the good spots are left for our guests and their parents and their caregivers, all right? Check in, you're gonna come into the atrium. We'll show you a map here in just a minute. If you're familiar with Terra, when you first arrive, there's that big General Technologies building. You'll come into that atrium there. We're calling that the atrium. And then on the right-hand side, and we'll have people there to guide you, you'll see a registration area in those rooms. You go in and you check in just like you did today, only it'll take a lot less time, because you're gonna give them, your name in that, and they'll give you a lanyard to wear. That lanyard is the key that says you're okay to be there, okay? Security is a big thing for us. We want our people to be safe that night. And so anyone wearing a lanyard, that means that you've had a background check and you're okay, okay? And so that's your ticket to kind of be a volunteer for that night. If you don't have it on, one of our security guys will stop you and go, hey, where's your lanyard? Because again, we want to keep our people safe. All right, there will be people with special colored lanyards or name tags on. Some will be bright red so you can see them very clearly. Those are our security guys. It's also our medical staff. So if you need like a 911 emergency kind of thing, we'll have some Fremont police officers there. You can check with them, or our security guys or medical staff. Myself and the other members of the core team will have, and the host will have gold lanyards on. So if you just have questions that aren't an emergency, come find one of us with the gold lanyard. It'll be myself, that handsome fellow back there, Rod. Wave your hand, Rod. He said I said handsome, it confused him. Beth, who's up in the sound booth up there. And Trudy is, I think, out there. We got Jen and Jason over here. If you need something, they're great people to go to. And who am I missing on the core team, guys? Help me out. Ray Dayringer. And so he's around too, but we'll have special lanyards, just you'll find us, no big deal. The big part, guys, we get through all this stuff and everybody's like, I don't know if I'll remember it. Don't worry about it. Come with the attitude, I'm gonna serve these people and have a blast. If you come with that, that's 90% of your night, okay? All right, because our goal as volunteers is to make this the very best night of our guests' lives. We want them to have a blast. We want it to be better than last year and the year before. We want them going home going, that was the best time I've ever had, okay? It's their prom, it's their night to shine, it's all about them, it's not about us. And at the end, or at the beginning actually of the program, everybody will be crowned either a king or a queen of the prom. Everybody gets a crown or a tiara. So again, I'm getting like goosebumps because that just makes me like really happy. All right, so let's walk through the night. And again, we'll give you a handout with this. There will also be programs that will be on the tables and things like that. You will get a program. It'll have all this in there, including a map of Terra and the areas that we're able to use that night, okay? So you don't have to memorize everything. We just want to help you understand, okay? So we're going to start here in the General Technologies building, what we call the atrium for the night. We have the honored guests arrive, and they're greeted at the door. Guests will go to the check-in tables, which are off to the right-hand side, meet their buddies for the evening. So if you're a buddy, buddies will receive an info card with all the guest information. There may be some dietary needs. Maybe they don't want media done, if they don't want their picture taken or something like that. It might be on there. There's also fun facts in there. They like to dance. They like Star Wars. Gives you a little something to talk with them about during the evening. And it also, you'll get a second card, identical, that as you enter into the SAC, the Student Activity Center, for the red carpet, you'll get that second card to our announcer, the paparazzi red carpet people. And they're gonna announce them. Here comes Tony, he loves Star Wars and Doctor Who, and give him a big hand, everybody went, right? And so it's a big night and it's a lot of fun, okay? Guests will receive actually a stick-on name tag, and those are color-coded. Most of them, almost all of them, will be kind of a blue rim, the night to shine blue. Some will be red, letting us know that there are dietary issues or things like that we need to be mindful of, maybe some gluten-free issues or things like that, okay? But they'll get one of those, put one on. Buddy confirms who will pick up the guests for the night. So if you're their buddy, you meet them. If you can connect with their caregiver, their agency person, whoever, and just say, hey, who's picking them up tonight and where do you want me to have them? Okay? All right. Parents, caregivers, you can, if you're not signed up as a volunteer, which everybody here I think is, But the ones who are signed up just to go to the hospitality room, as you come into the atrium, everybody goes to the right, except for the caregivers who want to spend time in the hospitality room. And they'll go to the left, and that's a secluded area in what's now the student lounge. It used to be the student bookstore at Terra. And they'll have some time to have some fun and just relax a little bit that night. The event will be live streamed in there so they can see what's going on with their guests and things like that. Okay, there'll be food in there for them, and it'll be a lot of fun. All right? Let's see where I am now. Check-in codes. Right next to the registration off to the side, the first door on the right will be a coat check-in. So you'll check in their coats, and they will give, the coat check people will give you a number, right, with the coat check. What you're going to do as a buddy, so hear me if you're going to be a buddy, they're going to give you a coat check for your guest's coat. Take it, open your lanyard, stick it in the back of your lanyard so you won't lose it for the night. All right? And then that way at the end of the night, and you can do the same with your own coat check, right? And that way they have it. And so check in your coats. You'll then proceed to hair and makeup, which is a whole lot of fun. And so as you go in and you keep proceeding into the atrium, over to the left-hand side, underneath the big stairwell, there's an area where there's going to be hair touch-ups, makeup touch-ups, shoe shines, all that stuff. Nothing major, we're not going to do everything, but the idea is just give a little touch-up to make it just really, really special and a lot of fun. And that's also where you'll find sign up for the limo rides. We have two big limos coming that are just going to do rides around the campus. It's a whole lot of fun. It's for the guests and the buddies to do together. And there's also karaoke in that area, which last year, guys, that was off the hook. So thank you so much. It was so much fun. And karaoke, make sure your guests get signed up for karaoke if they want to. There are restrooms available there. And then they're going to follow that red arrow down the hallway toward the Student Activity Center, the SAC, S-A-C. In that hallway, they're going to receive a boutonniere or corsage and their gift bag for the night. So they'll get like a little back sack that says Night to Shine on. It's gift bag. It's got all their swag for the night, including their crown and their tiara. Guys, this year we'll have black gift bags. Girls will have white gift bags. So we know it's easy to get them to them, and all the white ones will have tiaras in. All right, cool. Awesome, it's going to be awesome. So once you're in the Student Activity Center, which is this big gym area, guests and buddies are going to be met on the red carpet by the paparazzi and the announcers. We are actually opening this earlier this year. By the way, let me stop right here. Doors open for our guests at 5:30. So if you are a caregiver, if you work for an agency, please let your people know, do not come before 5:30. Last year it was like 67 degrees out. Everybody started coming early. We had people showing up at 4:30 and we're kind of scrambling, just trying to get our volunteers checked in. So please have them come at 5:30. We'll open the doors and get them in, and activities start right away. And there will be plenty to do. Okay, 5:45, the doors to the SAC open. And they can come into a big grand entrance. And if your guest has some sensory issues, we'll talk about that in a minute if that's going to be too much for them. But as you enter the gym, the buddy will hand the host that second card I talked about so that they can announce your guest. And then in that main gym area, you're going to see tables and chairs set up for dinner. Go find a place to sit down. There'll be tables to the side and back with drinks and cake. There's also a photo area in there. There's two photo areas, okay? One's going to be in the lobby. We'll talk about that in a minute. But in the SAC itself will be the official Night to Shine portraits. Very nice ones done by Ken Dumminger, who's a local photographer in town. And every year he provides a nice a prom portrait for everybody who comes. So please make sure you take your guests to the back of the gym to receive that, okay? There's a dance floor. The Together Band's going to play tonight again, or that night again. So we're excited about them. Lots of dance music. And that's also where we'll have the big balloon drop at the end of the night, all right? In the lobby of that area, right, this is where you'll find the information desk. If you have any questions, go see Kim and her team at the info desk. That's also where there'll be a t-shirt sales for the newer t-shirts. This is last year's clearance model, but we'll have some new ones this year I'll tell you about in a minute. There's a fun photo booth with hats and mustaches and things like that. There's restrooms in that hallway, and then all the way at the very end of that hallway is where our nurses station will be. There's a door that goes outside there where we have an EMS standing by, and in 7 years we've never had to use it, praise the Lord. And we don't plan on using it this time either, right? All right. So that's what's all going to be in those areas. And then the third area we're going to be in is a small area up here, and this is our sensory area. It's in the Art and Health Technology Center lobby. So if you have a guest or if you are a caregiver and one of your guests coming has sensory issues, the loud noises, the flashing lights, too loud of music, anything like that, that just gets to be too much for your guest. This is a great place to go where the lights are dimmed and it's very quiet and there's comfy chairs and places to sit. Remember, it's just for the guests. I know that's sounding really appealing right now, right? But please take your guests there and allow them some downtime if they need it, okay? It's staffed by some really wonderful people, and so it's a great time for them to just chill out a little bit. It also has its own separate entrance. And so if you are bringing a guest, maybe you work for an agency or something, you bring a guest, before you get around to the main entrance, there will be a sign for the sensory room entrance, and you can drop them off there so they don't have to go through the of the main entrance, okay? So here's a few just general things that you're gonna want to know. First of all, weather. Right now, the 2-week forecast looks pretty decent. Looks like we're gonna have upper 30s, and so we shouldn't have a level 2 or 3, but if we had a level 2 or 3 snow emergency, we had postponed to March 7th. We have never had to do that. We're not gonna have to do it this year. All right, dress, minimum dress, nice shirt, blouse, black, dark pants, a skirt. If you wanna dress up, dress up. If you are a host, a red carpet person, a buddy, please dress up. Please dress up with whatever you got, and let's have a lot of fun with this. If you are, again, if you're a kitchen, if you are tear down or set up where you're not interacting directly with our guests, feel free to dress comfortably and whatever you need to do on that. All right? Night to Shine shirts, we talked about this. Some of you got some of this awesome clearance swag for $10, but we have some new ones coming out this year that are Raglan 3/4 sleeve baseball shirts. Here's the cool thing. Every guest this year gets a free shirt. All of our honored guests. It's part of their swag. So if you are a buddy, when you open their gift bag, one of the things you'll find in there is a coupon for them to go take to the information table. Actually, right next to that will be the t-shirt claim table. And you're gonna put your guest's name on it, hand it to them. They've got already what size they need and everything, and they'll hand you a t-shirt for your guest, okay? As volunteers or parents or whatever, if you want to buy one, they'll be available. We have plenty available, and they're $25. We're not making a lot of money. We just want to cover our costs and that on there, okay? Very cool stuff. Coats. If you bring a coat, I'd say, you know, if you're good enough walking in without a coat, it's probably good to leave it in your car. Otherwise, we will have we'll have room in our coat room for it. Please do not bring purses, ladies or guys, I mean, whatever your thing is, right? Don't bring your purse. Don't leave valuables in your coats or in your car. Seriously, right? We want this to be a good night for you too, and you know, God forbid something bad would happen. So anyway, just leave your stuff at home, all right? Emergencies, which there won't be any of, but just in case. We will have uniformed police officers. We'll have safety and security team, again, with those red lanyards. Locate them immediately. They have walkie-talkies and connect with the rest of the group so that we know. Again, we have the first aid and EMS standing by at any time. Non-emergency needs, again, urgent needs that are not emergency. See your team leader, who you'll meet today, or come to the information desk in the SAC lobby, or connect with one of the core team, okay? All right, dinner and dancing. This is what it's about, right? Meals this year are for honored guests and their buddies only. Last year we kind of tried to feed everybody and ended up becoming mayhem where some of our guests were not getting fed because our volunteers were in line and things like that. So if you are a volunteer, if you are not a buddy, eat before you come and then go out for pizza afterward or something, okay? Buddies, please help your guests get food. We will have 2 buffet lines, okay? So if you're a buddy, help your guests get food first. Go through one of the buffet lines on either side of the room, and then go get your food. Buddies will eat with their honored guests If your guest has a special dietary need, again, that special name, that color name tag, see the caregiver when you first meet them. You'll receive more information about that in your breakout session today with your buddy leaders, okay? Other volunteers, we are not serving you food, but there will be a volunteer break room on the second floor of the General Technology Building. So we have all kinds of grab-and-go snacks, cheese and crackers, granola bars, soft drinks, bottles of water, all kinds of stuff like that. So if you get like 5 minutes, you just go, okay, I need a place to go breathe. All my stuff's done. I can go grab a snack real quick, get back in the game, okay? Because we don't want anyone fainting or anything, so we'll give you some food, all right? Dancing. All right. Dancing. Some of our guests really get into dancing. They have a ball. Some need to be coaxed or encouraged to get out there. As a buddy, it's your job to help them have the best time ever. If they want to dance, go out there and be silly with them. Have a great time. When YMCA comes on, we're all the village people, right? So have a great time with them. Don't be afraid to act a little silly that night. The balloon drop. So basically what's going to happen at 8:45, and you'll see this in your program, everything stops. All the activities, the karaoke, the limo rides, all of that stop. Everybody gathers back in the sack, back at your tables and that. We have a big announcement by Tim Tebow, and then we have this giant balloon drop, and it's just a blast. And then we finish the night with a couple more songs and dancing from the Together Band. And so there'll be 2 times where everything will stop. One's at 7:45, which is when all the activities stop so we can come in and eat. And then one is at 8:45 when we come back in for the balloon drop. Okay? All right, and again, those will all be in your program. So, all right, tear down, cleanup. Each area is responsible for their own tear down and cleanup. Your team leader will know what is from Tara, what belongs to the church, what belongs to our decorators. The designated teardown team will help with tables and chairs, the Together Band's equipment, things like that. Your teardown team leader will know all that stuff. If you're not officially on teardown, but you can stay a little later, please do. It's really helpful. It helps us not be there till midnight, just to come, help pick things up, clean up a little bit, and get things going. Any of that help would be appreciated. And then pre-event help. If you would like to come, we have on Saturday, February 1st, which is next Saturday at 9:30 right here, we're going to pack all the gift bags. So we have 160 gift bags to pack with all kinds of fun stuff and our t-shirt coupons and stuff, so we'll need help with that. Please come. And we have setup, which will start at, actually we'll start about noon that day, and it'll go to around 2:30 or 3 o'clock. So if you're off work or you're available, please come over. And so those are the big things. Does anybody have any questions about that stuff? All right. Yes?
If we have an honored guest that we don't want to leave at the table alone,
Sure.
we could get our food at the same time.
Great question. So the question was, if we have an honored guest that you don't want to leave alone to go get food at the buffet line, you know, can we go together, or what should we do? And here's the cool thing. You can either go together, or we will have many floaters walking around, people to help with that. Just flag someone down and go, hey, could you help us go get some food for my guests? And we'd be honored to be able to help you with that. Okay? And especially with some of our folks who have some mobility issues, it's nice to have those floaters walking around to help with meals and that. So keep your eye out. We have plenty of people that will be helping with meals. So thank you. Great question. All right. Any other questions? Yeah.
Are we still going to have a spot for the parents to watch?
Yeah, so great question. Will there be a spot for parents to watch? And that is the hospitality room. So when you first come in, that big student lounge, they'll be in there for the night, but we will have it all live streamed in there so they can watch through the live stream. We won't have an area where they can personally come and be a part of it because, again, we're not asking for background checks from them. And so we're just, again, trying to be very conscious about the security of our people. So good question. All right.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Jen McMaster. I actually work for the County Board of Developmental Disabilities. I'm a caseworker there. It has been my pleasure to work for them for 10 plus years. I also have a sister with developmental. You cannot hear me. I will talk louder. Thank you.
Come on up, we got seats.
That's okay. If you can't hear me, I'll talk louder. How's that? Okay. So, I also have a sister that has Down syndrome, and she has always been my inspiration and has made me a better person from just knowing her. So this night is very dear to me, and it is my favorite night every single year. You will walk away blessed beyond measure by knowing our folks. Our honored guests are some of the most spectacular people you will ever meet, and that is putting it mildly. They are amazing folks, and the big thing to remember is they have a lot to teach us rather than us teaching them. I have learned so much from our honored guests through the years, and you are going to walk away feeling really, really good about the world, really, really good about just people, humanity in general, because they really are amazing folks. I also have Jason with me, Jason Seidel. He has worked for the school for 10 plus years also. Now he also works with the
North Point Educational Service Center.
There we go, Service Center, because the county board doesn't have School of Hope under their umbrella anymore. It is now with the Service Center. And Jason does a lot of the basically transitional youth, correct, Jason?
Correct.
Helping them to get out, looking at jobs, building job skills, those kinds of things. So the two of us are really good point people. If you get into a jam or you have some questions, feel free to just kind of look to one of us. Jason will be there the night of, and he will help assign buddies. If you have someone in mind that you want to be assigned to, say you're a parent or a caregiver of one of the individuals, just, holler, raise your hand, jump up when the individual arrives, if you're not bringing them with you. So that will not be an issue. So this is technically our People First training, and really what it boils down to is that we really want you to just treat them like you would want to be treated. It's really plain and simple. These folks have so many authoritative figures in their lives. They have a lot of bosses, if you will. They are told sometimes when to eat, when to sleep, when it's time to use the restroom, how to shower, how to use the bathroom, when it's time to go in the community, and all of those things. Plus they have parents, they have caregivers, they have day programming staff. This is not your role. Your role on this night is just to really have fun and whoop it up with them. You're not telling them they have to do anything. We are just there to say, hey, would you like to go on the limo? Would you like to dance? And then if they want to do those things, you're going with them and you're having a blast with them. You're being silly, you're being funny, you're having fun. You're giving them attention. That's something else that our honored guests, just to have somebody's undivided attention is really meaningful, because for so many years, a lot of our folks have been in the shadows. So it's very important to give them the integrity of treating them just like you would want to be treated, and just really, really having fun and making it the best night ever. When we are speaking with our individuals, with our honored guests, please keep in mind that we are using people first language, so you're not going to call somebody by their diagnosis if you happen to know them and know their diagnosis. We're not going to say, oh, I have the autistic kid. We're going to talk to people for who they are. I don't walk around with a label on my head that tells you exactly every diagnosis I've ever been diagnosed with. That's silly, right? I mean, it's ridiculous if somebody walked up to you and was like, oh, that's the diabetic, or that's the bipolar girl. I mean, how ridiculous. But our folks get that a lot. Our folks get that. Oh, he must have autism. Oh, he must have this or that. Oh, she can't walk, poor child. We're not doing that. We are focusing on their strengths, on what they can do, what they're wonderful at, and let me tell you, there are so many things they are wonderful at. So please look past the diagnosis and be bigger than that and see the strengths that are within each individual. I also want you to realize that a lot of disabilities are not seen. So we have honored guests that may be coming that you may not be able to tell just by looking at them that they have a disability. So keep that in mind, that not all disabilities are seen. They may have a cognitive issue, they may have some difficulties with sensory things, and they may just look like you and I, or seizure disorders, traumatic brain injuries, the list goes on. Disabilities also can affect all races, cultures, incomes, genders. And this is not only due to poor nutrition, this is not something parents have done or anything like that. And I think that's also important to say because families a lot of times really do beat themselves up when, from a mom, when my child has something wrong or is struggling with something, we kind of internalize that and think, what did I do? And a lot of these mothers definitely went through that and said, oh my goodness, maybe I didn't get the right prenatal care, maybe I didn't take the right vitamins. A lot of times that just isn't the case. A lot of times it's genetics, a doctor mistake, or just what happened. So please keep that in mind, that it's not just something that the family did or the mom did. It does not mean that mom was on drugs or anything like that. And I think that's more of an old school thinking, but I always want to make sure that people understand that. The diagnoses are also very general terms. There's no size that fits all. So if somebody has autism, it looks very, very, very different across the board. If somebody has seizures, those look very, very different across the board. So there really isn't one size fits all for those. When you're communicating with people who have visual impairments, make sure you're speaking to them as you approach so that you're not all of a sudden right up on them and you're saying, hi, Sally. If you can imagine, that would be very startling. So try to talk to them as you're approaching. Make sure you speak clearly and speak in a normal tone, which is kind of hard to do sometimes, I know. Our nature is when somebody has a disability, we tend to talk louder than we need to, right? It's something we do. Somebody has speech difficulties or vision difficulties, people tend to kind of holler. They think that's going to get their point across better. That's just not the case. If somebody has an issue with their vision, they don't have an issue with their ears. Or if they have a cognitive disability, it doesn't affect their ears. So keep that in mind.
Know what you say?
Yes. So make sure we're just speaking in a normal tone of voice. And try to keep in mind your tone also. If you're stressed out and worried about something, they're going to pick up on that energy and pick up on that tone. And that can really derail your evening. You want to stay positive and happy. Tell the person that has a visual impairment that you're leaving their side. That's important. Something maybe you might not think about, but they can't see you when you're leaving. Don't touch service animals. I don't believe we will have any that night of, but just in case, don't touch a service animal unless somebody tells you you can, that animal is working. Always assume, or always make sure you ask the person if they want to be led by you. So don't assume things. If they're coming to a door, ask, can I hold that door open for you? That's a great gesture. It's so sweet to open doors for people. I love it when people open doors for me. But some of our folks, they may be like, I can open a door myself. So ask. ask. Give directions when you're walking with a person with disabilities, with vision disabilities. Make sure you're telling them kind of any elevations. So one thing that I like to do, especially even if they don't have a vision difficulty, but if you notice that maybe they don't look at where they're walking, maybe they look straight ahead or they look up, something like that. Or maybe even you're just noticing they shuffle their feet a lot when they walk. You're gonna wanna make sure you let them know of any different changes in elevations. And when there are steps, I always like to tell them, here comes a step, there's 2 steps. As they go down 1, okay, you have 1 more step, then down, no more steps are left, now it's just flat, let's go. So it just helps in their mind to let them know kind of what's on their plate, what they should be doing. When you are speaking with people that are hard of hearing, make sure that you're tapping the person gently on the arm to get their attention if they don't see you. Look directly at the person's face. Speak clearly and in a normal tone of voice. They pick up on your body language just like any of our other honored guests, so they're gonna pick up on your body language. Our guests are some of the best people as far as reading people. So they will read if you're stressed, don't really want to be there that night. They're going to read it. So try and make sure that you're coming in with a really good frame of mind. Do not assume that people with mobility problems need to be pushed or want to be pushed in their wheelchair. Some of these wheelchairs are electronic wheelchairs, so they can move themselves. So just ask. Some of our folks may or may not indicate to you whether they want that or not, but if you're asking and you're looking for any kind of differences on their face, you may be able to tell if that's something that they're okay with. Don't lean on chairs or any of their adaptive equipment, very, very important. Their wheelchairs are very expensive and they are very fitted for them. So any kind of pressure or something on that chair can really, really mess up the alignment and how comfortable it is for them. So make sure we're not leaning on those chairs. We're not piling like our purses or our coats or anything. It's not your coat hanger. It's an extension of their body. So try and think of that. Same with their walkers. Also, when somebody is in a wheelchair, it's kind of important to think of the fact that everybody is above them. So if you've talked to somebody that's in a wheelchair, you know a lot of times they're like this. And a lot of our folks have neck issues as a result. So please make sure you're on eye level with them when you're talking to them to just try to avoid the further of that neck issue. We don't want that for them. So being on their level is important. Also, make sure that when we're talking to somebody with speech difficulties, we're keeping it short. Keep your phrasing short, your sentences short, you're using simple language, especially in this environment. It's going to be noisy and loud and a lot of things going on. And some of our folks have sensory, differences. So make sure that we're just being straight to the point, keeping it simple, maybe yes or no questions. Those kinds of things. And then just watch their faces for responses. Sometimes you may get a yes or a no, but sometimes you may get kind of a blink or a smile or a head nod. So watch for those things. Make sure you're not trying to finish their sentences. If they're trying to communicate to you, make sure you're letting them finish their sentence and finish their thought. It's important. None of us like to be interrupted. Also, you may have to repeat things a couple times, and that's okay. And if they're saying something to you and you don't quite understand it, it's okay to say, hey, I didn't quite get that. Can you just say that to me one more time? Totally fine. Most of our folks are used to it. They get it all the time. So they will try and say it to you again. And then a good thing to do is say, So I think what you're saying is you want to go dance, is that right? You know, those kinds of things. That kind of communication really helps. It makes them feel heard and you understand what they're saying. The person might need a little extra time to make decisions. So if you're saying, hey, do you want to go sign up for the limo? They may be thinking, what's a limo? Do I remember doing that last year? What's that like? So you may need to describe it. You may need to give them a little time to think about it. You can also say, so we have the choice of going on a limo ride. We can do that now, we can sign up for later, or we can pass on it. What would you prefer? What would you like? Those kinds of things. Do not yell or be loud with the person as much as possible. Make sure you're being flexible and very patient. That's really important. So just be really patient and flexible with them. We're not telling them they have to do anything on this night. We are going with what they want. They take the lead. I also say it's important to point out restrooms. So once you get into the SAC, or if you're in line for a certain period of time, it may be good to say, hey, Sally, just wanted to let you know the restrooms are over here, so if at any point in time you need to go, just let me know. You know, they're right there. Sometimes they may just go, so you would just follow. They may not ask. They may just go that way. So, you know, pointing out the restroom, making suggestions for the sensory room if you notice that they're getting really overwhelmed, just making that suggestion. 99% of our folks know what sensory room means, so that would not need a lot of explanation. But if they look confused when you say sensory room, just say, would you like to go hang out in a dark room on a comfy chair? You know, just keep it simple. Those are very important things for our folks, restrooms and the sensory room. So that is the people first training. And I just encourage you to really have a blast. And again, make sure you're just treating them like you would want to be treated. The night of, we would like you there around 5 o'clock, no later. If you are bringing a guest, we understand that, and you know, you would probably wait till 5:30 for that since we're not wanting guests in before that. But try to be there by 5. It's a prom. Dress as close to prom attire as possible. If that means slacks and a nice shirt, that's fine too. You will be on your feet, hopefully. Hopefully your guest is gonna be running from area to area and all about dancing and all of that. So wear comfortable shoes, high heels only if you're used to wearing high heels, girls, because your feet are gonna be tired. You're gonna be blessed, but you're gonna be tired. Trying to think if there's anything else. Any questions at this point? Yes, ma'am.
Are we responsible for toileting them if they need to be toileted, like put them in the toilet?
Sure. So the question was, are we responsible for toileting them? Your responsibility is getting them to the bathroom. If they need help, getting someone to help them and making sure they make it out of the bathroom safely. We are not here to clean up after a restroom, change briefs or diapers. You're not doing any of that. If that is a need for that individual, more than likely they are going to have a support person with them. So most of the individuals that you'll be matched up with would be folks that are independent in the bathroom, but just making sure that they're good and making sure that they're always safe. So you're escorting them to the bathroom and escorting them out because we don't want anything to happen. We don't want anyone slipping out or anything like that. So any other questions?
In the back.
There will be lots of floaters. So the question is, with the restrooms, if you have someone of the opposite sex, of course you're not going into the bathroom with them. So there will be bathroom attendants there. There will also be lots and lots of floaters around. So if at any point you get into a situation where Mark is in the bathroom and he's been in there a long time, but I'm a female, I'm not gonna go into the bathroom, and there's no other men around, start looking for a floater. You know, looking at the information table or somebody with, you know, a gold lanyard or something to just kind of say, hey, I need some help. He's been in there a little while. And if you need to use the restroom, use those floaters as well for that. We don't want eyes off the individuals, off our honored guests. So make sure we're keeping eyes on, and if at some point in time you need to veer from that, have a floater help with that, just for safety. Yes.
They've been,
Oh, sorry.
They've been very good about having a same-sex bathroom attendant at each bathroom. Somebody standing right outside there. So, like Jen said, if you notice your guest's been in there longer than what you may think is usual, say, whoever the attendant standing right there by the door, hey, would you mind checking on so-and-so, whoever your guest's name is, okay? They're gonna hopefully walk in and say, hey, Mark, are you okay? Do you need any assistance? Mark's gonna say, yeah, I'm good, or yeah, I need some help, and then go from there.
And Tony just confirmed, we have a male for the male bathrooms and female for the female bathrooms.
And that will be stationed at every restroom in the building. So don't feel that you have to go just use a certain restroom because that's where the attendant is. All restrooms will have attendants, so, okay?
Question in the back. Sure, the question is, can we request a certain guest? Absolutely, night of, we'll all be in the same room. If you see somebody that you particularly signed up to be with because you really know them, then go ahead and hop up when that person comes through, because they're gonna come through registration, you're gonna see them come in. It takes a little bit at registration, so you're gonna have a good heads up that they have arrived. So just
And if
Go ahead.
if you have a request for a specific, to be able to have a specific guest, if you've not put that on your volunteer registration form, check with our ladies out there at registration to say, hey, we'd really like to be paired with, and we will do our best to pair you with a specific guest, okay?
I've got an ongoing list right now of those who did sign up on registration, saying they want to be with a certain guest. And I'll have this list that evening. So you've got until that evening to email or reach out to the registration ladies and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm a buddy, I want to be with so-and-so. And then that evening, I'll have that list, and you know, as long as everybody shows up, we'll do our best to get you paired up. Okay?
The other thing is food. We didn't discuss that. So you're eating with your guest. If they have a modified diet of some kind, we have some folks that it needs to be ground, it needs to be pureed, different things like that. Those honored guests should have that with them, and they may even have a caregiver that knows exactly how that diet should be modified. So you won't have to worry about that part of modifying the actual food. It may say on their card that they need things cut up. So that we can handle, right? Like we can cut up food. It will be pasta. It's penne pasta, so it's pretty easy to just kind of cut and to eat. But if you have any problems with that, you know, please holler out. We'll help you as best as we can. And if somebody does need pureed or ground or something like that, and they don't have their things with them, let us know and we will get on top of that. But typically they come with their own caregiver then for those, because that's a real need for them, that it has to be a certain texture. Any choking, you know, that's a 911, so we're making a lot of noise. So far, no choking. Yes? You're assuming that if they're in a wheelchair, what? No, Jason? I don't believe the limos have lifts.
Oh, yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
Yes, unfortunately, if you have a guest with mobility issues who uses a wheelchair. Unfortunately, the limos do not have wheelchair lifts, okay? So if you have a guest that uses a wheelchair, if they're able to transfer from the chair and take 1, 2, 3 steps, I mean, the nice big wide steps, okay? If they're able to transfer from the chair and take 3 steps up into the limo, then they can take a ride. And if they need assistance, we've got plenty of big, strong men on security. You know, okay, not Tony, he's not too strong.
And we don't expect buddies to pick them up. Please
Yeah,
do
we don't-
not, Tina,
yeah,
I
we
saw
don't
that.
want
No
any-
throwing people.
Correct, yeah. We don't want any of you physically doing the lifting. Hopefully, again, they'll have a support person there with them. If they need an extra, person or two to help, we've got plenty of, big, strong people to do that. But, so, to answer the question, no, the limos do not have a wheelchair lift. But we want to make it available to as many as we can. So if they're able to transfer from their chair, take a couple of steps, and into the bus, great, we can give them a ride, okay? And there'll be, like I said, plenty of activity, volunteers there to help, take their chair back in so it stays warm. If they've got a cane or any other mobility type device, that's fine, they can take it on the bus with them, okay? Generally, the limo is probably one of the most popular activities. So when you first meet your person, there and we get you paired up, ask them right away if they want to take a limo ride, go back out there into the atrium area and get signed up for a time slot. Okay, I think they're about every 15 minutes, approximately. Okay, if it is a later time slot, and depending on the weather, make sure you give yourself enough time to get a coat for them. The limos are heated, okay, but you still gotta walk out, to get on the limo and walk back in, so.
And that brings up another point with coats. Some people may want to keep their coat with them. So if you're going to coat check and they do not want to take it off, they do not want to give it, that's fine too. Don't push it. They can keep their coat with them. So, or if they want to go on the limo ride and they don't want to put the coat back on, that's fine too. Nobody is going to get pneumonia from 5-minute walk into a limo. So we're good with all of that. Yes, thank you so much. You will be blessed and you'll want to come back. Any other questions, just feel free to see us afterwards.